We have a brother by the name of Marcus Charles. He's a Canadian Tire employee out in the city of Hamilton in the province of Ontario, Canada. He suffered an epileptic seizure and staff called the paramedics. In the end, he ended up tasered, beaten, and charged with 3 counts of assault.
I wouldn't say I'm feeling the greatest. My arm and everything's still swollen. I got pain in my shoulder.
His wrists are swollen from handcuffs. He has bruises and scrapes on his face and body and an injured shoulder. He says it happened when he had an epileptic seizure on Sunday. It led to this confrontation with police. He says he was tasered twice and several officers were on top of him, pinning him to the ground.
I don't know what to say, honestly. I'm speechless. Like, it's people that we call for help and stuff, and I wouldn't want to call someone to help if this is what I'm going to look like after I get called for help.
Steve Yaboa saw it happen.
8 cops pretty much surround this guy. They're having a hell of a hard time pretty much trying to keep him down and everything.
Hamilton police say they were called in by paramedics because Charles was becoming combative. The Hamilton Paramedic Service at first said it could confirm that paramedics were called for a medical assist call and that paramedics treated a male on scene and subsequently transported the patient to a local hospital. A short time later, the paramedic service released another statement saying, after further review of the events, our paramedics were involved in a dangerous, violent, and volatile situation. Charles says he doesn't remember much from the time he was having the epileptic seizure. Charles says he's facing 3 charges of assault.
That shouldn't be anything I should be going up against. I wasn't in the right mind. I was incoherent. It was the ambulance people that were supposed to come and help me, and it triggered into something that's spiraling down into a bigger effect that it should have never even reached that.
So there are several types of seizures that happen when you suffer from epilepsy. And oftentimes your body jerks, your arms flail, and you foam at the mouth, and these kinds of things happen. Never are you considered to be combative and violent. Oftentimes they don't even remember what happened. And so in this case, Marcus was not combative at all or violent, but when a Black person has any level of physical movements, it's considered to be combative, and it results in police injuring them. This was not a situation where somebody who suffered a medical episode ends up being beaten and battered. What I also find interesting, not so interesting, is that the paramedics first came out with a statement saying that they treated a gentleman and took him to the hospital. Then moments later, they come out with a statement saying that this gentleman was combative and violent and it was a dangerous situation. Sounds to me like a cover-up. And then we have some police officers who are saying that they were injured. How did all of this happen when you had multiple police officers that were pinning this man down? There were also onlookers who said at no time did Brother Marcus ever lash out at the police officers. There's also reports that he tried to walk away and was dragged back by these police officers. And all of this took place before paramedics even arrived to take him to the hospital. And as you can see from the images, he was severely injured and is still suffering injuries while facing a lawsuit, all of which should not have taken place. This is a clear-cut situation of racism against a person who suffers from a medical situation. And this is the coding of the stereotype of the violent, combative Black man, when none of this is the case. Marcus is not speaking any further until he gets a lawyer and until this case is tried. Canadian Tire obtained video footage of this situation and shared with the police. The police then say, based on what the footage shows, that they deem the behavior and treatment of Marcus to be appropriate. However, they would not share this footage when asked by Hamilton Media with them so that we can all see what happened and what was deemed appropriate by the police officers. And finally, Canadian Tire, you're slipping. This is the 3rd report about racism at the hands of your employees. The manager of Canadian Tire has not come forward to defend your employee, an employee that's a very good one, an employee who's a family man and a hardworking employee, yet nobody from this organization is coming forward to help this gentleman and tell his story and tell the truth. Canadian Tire, boycott Canadian Tire. Let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel, EA Public Relations, where I report on all things Black, Black-owned, Black events across the province of Ontario. Until next time, please be safe, everyone. Peace be.